Welcome to the Roasted Snow Horror Show,
where fear and dread go head to head.
Welcome to the show, where the screams collide, where blood runs cold, and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
and here are your hosts.
Chris and Ryan.
Welcome, everyone, to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rostead. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted. That guy's Chris Snow, the Snowman, sexual tyrannosaurus, Viagra pill with a face, Dilzer aficionado.
I don't know if I want to add that one on there.
Well, I got him to break. Yay. Other than that, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm really good, buddy. I'm really good.
Yeah,
it's been a great week. Been a great
really-
weekend.
It really has been. And I hope you guys checked out on Wednesday kind of our recap on the Mummy series. What I did realize is that we did not say our favorite in that series.
Definitely the Mummy. It doesn't even. It's the original.
See, for me, it's the Mummy Returns.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
By a slight margin. And I think
Fair. They're both fantastic.
Just because of the lead up to it, and I didn't want to be let down, and I wasn't. But yeah, it's a 1A, 1B situation on that. But I got to go Mummy Returns. But yeah, so that is the crux of the show, and we fucking missed it. We will not miss it tonight, though. We will not. I promise you. Because we're talking Lee Cronin. We're talking yet another Mummy movie.
And thank God it is not bad.
We haven't talked about it other than just Lee Cronin doing it. But we'll tell you right off the bat, I for sure recommend seeing it. Sounds like Chris does as well.
100%.
This one, if you don't know much about Lee Cronin, what we know him best for is Evil Dead Rise, which
One of my favorites over the last 10 years. So good. So good.
We had talked about, we did an episode on the whole Evil Dead series up to this point about which ones we liked, which ones we didn't. And his Evil Dead Rise was right up there in some of our favorites. Definitely some visuals there that won't get out of our mind. This movie got a fuck ton of visuals I'm never getting out of my mind. So,
Do you ever want to clip your toenail ever again?
I will get to that fucking scene. But the thing about Lee Cronin is that, yeah, the effects are incredible. They really make you think. And on top of that,
and get sick.
yes. And before this movie even started, we got Evil Dead Burn. We got a teaser. Wasn't much of one, but it was something.
Just remind us it's out there and it's coming.
And
This summer it's coming.
And it's going to be fucking insane. So
Cannot wait.
we will never escape Evil Dead, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
As long as they keep knocking home runs, I mean, there has not been bad Evil Dead movies so far.
No. Continuity issues aside, sure. But
Continuity side.
But yeah, obviously the Evil Dead remake, we both love. The Evil Dead Rise, it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep doing the same thing.
Give us what we want.
I mean, this one had a very Evil Dead feel, at least for me. But I do have to say something before, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. It has nothing to do with the movie. It has to do with the movie experience.
Okay.
I've gone through how annoyed I get with people in theaters. Last night, so we're recording this on a Sunday. I actually saw this last night, roughly about 24 hours ago, give or take a few minutes. But those of you at Southlands and Aurora, get your fucking shit together. I was the only one in that theater that didn't have a blanket. This is in your goddamn living room. And not only that, there were talkers, there were people on their phones. You're going to get a few of those now and again. There were, I like to strategically place where I'm going to sit for a movie. I don't like to be near a ton of people. And I literally looked at my phone 5 minutes before the movie started, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm good. We're solid. No, motherfuckers bought two seats next to mine when there's an entire row open. God damn it. And of course, they got a blanket, and that already pisses me off. But to top it off, and I'll get through my feelings on this movie, but let's just say it's intense. It is a ride. And so I'm leaving the theater. I'm literally walking down the goddamn stairs, and there's a goddamn service dog barking at me. Or it wasn't even a service dog. Sorry. It wasn't. If it was a service dog, I would have been okay with it. Kind of.
They shouldn't bark.
This dog lost its shit on me, which then I got scared because I was already on edge after this movie. And I'm just like, a fucking dog? Are you kidding me? So guys, get your shit together. There's a decorum here. And I forgot to mention it. God, what movie was I seeing? It wasn't Faces of Death. Which one did we cover right before Faces of Death? God, why am I spacing on this movie? Whatever that movie was, there's a fucking infant in that movie. It was They Will Kill You. There was a fucking infant in that movie. And again, it was like a 10 o'clock Saturday showing. So,
dude, those are the kind of things that get me from 0 to 10 immediately. Mm-hmm. I think you were with me. You and me and Mike went and saw Halloween Kills, and I blew up on the kids next to us. You remember that? I was like, Ryan's never going to want to go to the movies with me again.
I'm like, and then it's like, well, I'm really glad that you shut them up so we could watch that travesty.
That piece of dog shit.
It's just like, I get it. I was young.
If you guys don't get babysitters, then you don't get to watch the movie. I don't know what else to tell you. You don't get to go to the movies.
No, like the only time I took my kids when they were not of like a movie going age was like when they were really little, and it would be to a kids movie. It would be to take my older one, and if the baby cried, we fucking left. That's just what happened.
You can go see the Oogie Loves as much as you want with your little kids because it's made for them. And if they start crying because of the Oogie Loves, then you get to leave with them. That's okay. You don't bring them to The Mummy. You don't bring them to Hereditary was the one that made me want to scream. But thankfully, the manager stepped in. It was two moms. Maybe they were friends or sisters. They had probably 7 children between them, ranging from maybe 3 to about 6 or 7. We're watching Hereditary. And I had to do it. We're watching Hereditary, dude. The movie's getting ready to start, and they're all lined up. They got food. They're like, this is as the movie started. Finally, like someone walked out because they were doing it all to the preview. Someone walked out and got the manager, and I heard the manager. He was trying to be quiet because at the beginning of Hereditary, there's no sound. It's like doing the credits. It's just really loud. I heard him be like, "Excuse me, ladies. You both with all your kids need to leave. They cannot be in an R-rated film like this." Because the whole time I was asking myself, like, are they in the wrong theater? They have to be in the wrong theater. Mm-hmm. There's no way these 2 moms brought their 7 children to watch Hereditary.
Well, to be fair, in their defense, it is a family movie.
It is a family movie. You're right.
It's a family film. And actually, Hereditary made it into my notes for this movie, but that's to come up here. But anyway, sorry. That was my rant. I don't know why it bugs me so much. People bringing blankets into the movie. It just fucking does. I don't know. Maybe
it's like people taking their shoes off on a. It's like people taking their shoes off on a plane.
Oh yeah.
It's like what are you doing? Clipping their. I've seen people clip their toenails on a plane. I'm like, are you psychotic? Are you sick in the head? What are you doing?
Yeah. That gets somebody killed.
Yeah. But that's bomb threat. Like that's gonna be a bomb threat.
Yeah,
if you start doing that. It's like I'm gonna blow this motherfucker up right now. Everybody go die.
And I will be justified in that.
Sir, why did you say that you got a bomb and you're gonna blow? Because the bitch across the aisle was clipping her toenails on the flight.
Okay.
Why are you talking to me and not her?
Like we'll arrest her immediately.
Thank you.
But yeah, but having said that, this one, all shenanigans aside, I still really like this movie.
This was such a dude. I was so pleasantly surprised by this film.
Well, and I had said in our last episode talking about The Mummy that when I first heard about this, I knew, like, I didn't want to see it. I was like, it's just another cash grab.
I was like, it's going to be another soft reboot, and it's another remake of the story that we've seen. Like, you're not going to improve on Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. Like, they tried to do it again. I don't want to see it. Don't want it.
And to your point about the Tom Cruise Mummy is that they replaced the main storyline. They put it's a girl instead of a guy. This one, it's a kid. Like, I'm like, I don't know.
And it's not even in Egypt.
No,
most of it.
Yeah, it's I did not want to see it. And without doing the show, I probably wouldn't have. So thank you for doing the show with me, because I went to go see it. And aside from the morons and the mouth breathers in the theater
and their blankets
and their dogs. So, but we'll jump right into this. Do you kind of want to give a little spoiler-free-ish kind of deal?
Yeah. So to kind of prep you guys, obviously, when you think Mummy, you think Egypt, and the movie does begin in Egypt. You're kind of treated to a little bit of exposition right at the beginning. A family whose house happens to be built upon like an old pyramid, which is kind of strange, but it makes sense as you get into it. You see him walk downstairs, and there's a black sarcophagus with a mummy inside. That's just kind of teasing what the film's actually going to be about, because our main character doesn't even live in Cairo. They're a journalist. He's a journalist with his family, so he's there doing his job. He's an investigative reporter. Something happens to his daughter, Katie is her name. Something happens to her, which kind of kicks off the whole film. And we actually don't catch up with the family until, I want to say,
it's 8 years later.
8 years later, yeah, something like that. Back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where the bulk of the film takes place.
Which is the Cairo of America.
The Cairo of America. Pizzas on roofs and everything. What are you laughing at, bitch? But gosh, I started thinking Breaking Bad. Anyway, back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, this is where the mummy actually comes into her own. And to your point, like you said earlier, the mummy is a child. Not so much a child anymore 8 years after the fact, but it is a young person, not an adult, who kind of grows into quite the villain. Doing some pretty shady stuff throughout Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I again, spoiler free, but I just love that this is not, I don't even call this a reboot in any fashion. It's literally a movie about a mummy called The Mummy. It really has nothing to do with the dark universe. And I like that. It's a fresh take, fresh story. They're not trying to make a cash grab off of a known thing. He's trying to tell his own story. And that immediately, when I realized that's what we were going to get, immediately I just kind of settled in and was like, okay, I feel this. Because I didn't watch much leading up into this. I didn't read about it. I didn't watch many trailers. I went into it nearly blind, and was extremely happy with what I saw.
Well, and I just randomly scrolling, because obviously we have our Facebook page and whatnot, and the algorithm likes to show stuff about movies that we have not seen yet. So I did pop one, and it was basically like just talking about how it's divisive, because critics don't like it, but audiences loved it. So
isn't that the story of so many movies right now?
It is.
And that just goes to show how shitty critics are and how much I hate them all.
But I think because on the
wait, are we critics?
We're like non-practicing critics. Yeah, I mean, we're unpaid critics. Sure,
we're lapsed critics.
I'm putting that on a resume. I'm like, we're film critics.
Love that.
But yeah, it's like, and you get the opposite. You get audiences hate a movie and critics love it.
Critics like, this is the best thing that's ever made. It's like, you don't know what people want.
I'm looking at you, the bride.
Yeah. This is the greatest thing, and it's such a great message. 95 on Rotten Tomatoes, and then the audience is like, 20%. This is shit.
This movie sucks. Yeah. So I just want to jump right into it. I got so much to say about this movie. So you started off as Chris said, like, that was the spoiler free. This isn't. I urge
you guys haven't seen it. Yeah. Log off. Go watch it, jump back on. We'll talk about it after the fact. But yeah, definitely you guys want to see this one. So you don't want us to spoil it for you. So if you haven't seen it, you definitely want to watch it. Log off and come back, because this is good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So the movie starts off in Egypt, outside of Cairo. I think it's something.
And
it gives you the subtitle. It's like, this is where you are.
And disclaimer, guys, we're only gonna know like 2 of the characters. Like
yeah, there's so many names to keep track of. Like, there's a lot of people in this one. If I watch it about countless times, like I watch Star Wars, I could tell you everybody's name, but I'm not going to be able to. So bear with us as we jump back and forth with names. But this starts in a city outside. It's actually not in Cairo. It's outside of Cairo. A place called, I think it was Aswan. A man and a woman arrive at their home with their daughter, and they see, and their 2 sons, actually, there's 3 kids, and something's wrong, right? Something's kind of...
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Pets' heads are falling off. Cats and dogs living together. Total anarchy.
That's it. I've had it with this dump. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
All this to say, the parents leave the kids upstairs and they go into the cellar of the house. And kind of like I was saying in the spoiler free, this house, when they go into the cellar, it's shown that the house is built on top of kind of like an old pyramid, an old black pyramid, like a black obsidian, I think is what it looked like, pyramid. And they go down into it, and it's totally normal to them. It's like they know exactly where they're at. It's like, oh, we know this is supposed to be here. So they go down into it, and there is a black sarcophagus. It's like obsidian, a black obsidian looking sarcophagus, and they go up to it. And there's a mummy inside of it. There's a mummified body. And like I said, they kind of expect this to be there because as soon as they see the mummy inside of it, they're kind of like, oh, whew, he's still there. It's okay. But however, as soon as the relief, they kind of breathe a sigh of relief, there's like a, what's the best way to say it? Like a paranormal entity, maybe a presence, or some kind of demon in the room, immediately kills the guy. And
with the fucking what's it called? Like the I'm doing this. Kills him with that. It immediately kills him. His wife just screams, looks on. She's like screaming. You know how they start a movie like that? It's like something big happens, and one just screams, and they cut to the next scene. It's kind of one of those, which is fantastic. Like you're seeing, like, oh shit, the mummy's still there, but maybe he's not as asleep as he looks. Maybe he's not as dead as he looks. Cut to the next scene. Now we are in Cairo, and our guy, Jack Rayner, who you guys might know from a couple of movies, Transformers: The Last Night. People forget he was in that. He was the hunky love interest after Mark Wahlberg. That movie existed.
People forget that movie existed. Yep, or not The Last Night. Age of Extinction. Excuse me.
Yeah.
He was also in the animal one. He was also in not Hereditary, the other one.
The Witch?
No.
I know.
Florence Pugh. Why am I missing it?
Midsommar.
Yes, Midsommar. He's in Midsommar. But in this movie, his name's Charlie. He's like I said, he's an investigative journalist. And he is living in Cairo doing work. His wife is pregnant. They've got a couple of kids, Sebastian and Katie. Katie's the important one here. We'll get to this. Katie, one morning, she's visited by the woman from the opening scene. So you're like, oh, I guess she didn't die like her husband did. She's kind of creepy looking, but she basically, you can tell that whatever happened down there, Gabe must have given her some kind of magical powers because she seems to be like that, that sinister, call her a witch, maybe is the right word to say. But she's visited by her. She lures her away. And she claims to be one of her friend's moms, so she's like,
Layla's
I'm gonna,
mom, yeah,
Layla. She's like, I have candy. It's the old classic candy in the van kind of thing. Come over here, and she abducts Katie. So she takes Katie away.
Can I pop in here real quick? Just something I thought of, and it's one of my coworkers showed me the other day, and it's a meme, and it's a guy, and he's stuck in the back of a van, and he's sending a text. He goes, "I'm getting free candy, and you're not." So sorry, I had to pop in there with that, but and just this
it's the same meme that's like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we were all told never get into cars with strangers. Now we have apps on our phones where we call strangers to give us rides.
Literally summon them, and this part, and maybe it hits me differently because I am a dad of a daughter.
Two girls,
and Katie is she's innocently playing in the garden out back, and
happens to be your wife's name.
Yes. Happens to be her name. What happened to Katie? I don't know. I ask myself every day, but
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm talking about a different one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the whole way the scene plays out is because what's coming. She's talking to Layla's mom, and Layla's mom is saying this bullshit about like, "Ooh, I can do a magic trick." It's very like
I'll show you a trick.
Yeah, and yeah, she's like,
"Come here, Georgie."
Exactly. It's like she's luring her with this candy, and we come to find out that she's been given this candy by Layla a lot.
It's her favorite candy.
Yes, so being groomed essentially. And she basically uses magic and is like, I'm really sorry for this last trick, kidnaps her, and just like the terror that goes into I call the dad discount Chris Pratt, like, hey, can we have Chris Pratt? No, we have Chris Pratt at home. That's what this guy is. Not to say he does a bad job in this movie, because I don't think he does a bad job at all.
Fun fact, quick aside, Jack Rayner.
Yep.
Born in Longmont.
No shit.
Yep.
Okay, nice. Congrats. I didn't mean to call you discount Chris Pratt, but we have Jack Rayner at home there. But just like, because he goes and he goes in hot pursuit, which I thought was a little like, as a dad, I'm thinking about it logistically, because his son is in the house too, and his wife is at work, and he takes off down the street trying to find. I was like, I would do that too, but at the same time, like, your son is just left alone at home now. So I was worried about that a little bit, but unfortunately the sirens go, now a sandstorm's coming. So he loses them. And I cannot even imagine what's going on here. They go into a little bit, obviously they talk to the authorities, and the authorities are pretty sure that the parents have something to do with it, that he has something to do with it, and he loses his ever-loving mind on them. He like flips the table. He's pissed. Then we get the time jump to 8 years later, and
quick aside, the detective that he talks to, because she's going to come back into play.
Yeah. There's a detective that he talks to, and she is put on the case. She wants to get into the missing persons game. She is put onto this case because she is an English interpreter. And she is basically the middleman here with the lead investigator. And the lead investigator really thinks that the dad had something to do with it. So he loses his mind on them. And that's when we get the time jump to 8 years later. They're going to Albuquerque. They're living in Albuquerque at her mom's house, at his in-laws' house. What I wanted to know, though, was how long did it take them to move back to Albuquerque? Because as a dad, I'm not leaving Cairo until I fucking find my kid. Or
that's the thing is, like, I there's not a suspension of disbelief, because 8 years obviously is a long time, but like how long before you're like, you give up and it's like she's really gone and we have to leave,
Like there's no trace of her, no nothing. So
no clues.
As bad as it sounds, it's like, yeah, I'm putting every resource into this. I guess it is a little weird because, yes, the wife is pregnant with another kid. Turns out to be a daughter as well. But we catch up with their life 8 years later, back in Albuquerque. And
dumbest name for a kid ever, by the way. What are we living in the 1940s?
What was her name? Like
Maud.
Yeah, Maud.
All I could think about was the show with Bea Arthur. And then there's Maud. You remember that?
Yeah, it's just so stupid. But this kid
Maud.
But this kid is cute, and like it's basically like a Katie replacement, kind of. Because she even says, like, I'm the same age that Katie was when she went missing. I don't know how I would be able to move on, but you get a little glimpse in their life. There's, some. I think the Sebastian, he says something like, are we never going to go on a vacation again? Like,
there's some trauma, obviously.
Right. They're very sheltered. They do end up going to it's this pizza joint that's like a food truck that's like on a fucking cliff. It's weird. But they make a thing like they've gone there a lot. They're like, can I get 2 slices this time? It's kind of their thing. Well, they get a call from the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, and they say they found Katie, which very had a kind of like mama feeling to it, because those kids went missing.
Yep.
Come back. And obviously they break down. They go to Cairo, and if you
I think the important thing is, so they're kind of setting up the exposition in New Mexico. Cut back to Cairo. There is a teenager who sees there's a plane crash, basically.
Oh yeah.
So there's out in the desert. This poor kid looks up and a plane's going down. It's
the one from the Green Inferno.
Exactly like that.
This is the Sand Inferno.
It is the Sand Inferno. The mummy, Imhotep was right behind him, taking him down. But she sees this plane crash. She reports it. The cargo that this plane is carrying, that is, by the way, it's still intact, is the same obsidian sarcophagus that we saw in the basement in that pyramid at the beginning of the movie. So you're thinking, oh, there's the mummy's in there, that original mummy.
Well, and the gore on this plane crash, because I think there's two guys,
two pilots, yeah,
and one, like, literally his eye is just on the ground, like just laying there. The other one gets impaled through the throat through an entire branch, like, and people have done this in horror movies before, but it's like through his entire throat. Like, it is very well done. Very.
Lee Cronin does not shy away from the gore, and I love it.
At least I thought that it was gross until we got further into this movie, and then it wasn't so gross. But you want to take it away on when
Teachers Cup, anyone? See, I got you. I knew you were gonna have something about that. Anyway, we're gonna get there though. So yeah, this obsidian sarcophagus is in the plane crash. It's fine. They open the sarcophagus, and instead of seeing the original mummy from the beginning of the movie, we actually see Katie inside, and she has been mummified. She's wrapped up in, not like mummy wraps, like so you think like linen wraps, but she's wrapped up almost in like paper, like dried, like old ancient Egyptian paper, and it has like inscriptions all over it. So, I mean, my mind immediately went to Book of the Dead kind of situation, Necronomicon Ex Mortis kind of situation. And there's one thing that stuck out to me, like they took some of it off, right? Because they're like, what's going on here? They took some of it off, and as soon as they do, Katie woke up. So she jots awake. Shows that she's alive, and that's when cut back to family in Albuquerque. Embassy calls like, hey, we have found your daughter. And like you said, so kind of going back in medias res here, Charlie and his wife, obviously breaking down. They found our daughter. It's been 8 years. They decided to move her back home. There's a small aside though, because even though she's like not in a coma, but she's awake, but she's not responsive. It's almost like she's not brain dead, but just like, what's the word? It's like
lights are on, but nobody's home.
Lights are on, nobody's home. The engine's running, but there's no one behind the wheel, right?
And the doctor says when they first meet her, which I found funny because I'll get to this, but it wasn't funny at the time, but he was like, it's very, like she isn't talking.
Yeah, she doesn't.
No sudden movements, so like anytime they're getting close to her, you are feeling dread because you don't know if she's going to attack them or what. Like her hands are like that, like it's like awful. So they go on this big rant about no sudden movements. They say that's probably best for her to go home, and that's where she can maybe start to slowly rebuild her life. They say no sudden movements. They're fucking taking her up the stairs in her goddamn wheelchair, jerking her up the stairs like I'm like, yeah, no sudden movements. Like, we can't try and lift this sucker. All right, that was just an aside.
No, that's important because cut to Charlie and his family bringing Katie back home. Bring her back home to Albuquerque. Get her up the janky stairs in the wheelchair, set her up in the room. The funny thing is they don't like the first thing that I would think if you get her back in is like, we got to get her in a facility, right? Like she's catatonic. That's the word I was looking for. Catatonic. She's like catatonic. She's not responsive. Probably need to put her in a hospital. Like, does she need medical care? It's been 8 years. Find out what happened to her. Nope. They don't do any of that. They kind of just take her back home and put her in her bedroom and get her all set up in there, which, again, I can kind of understand. It's been 8 years. She's alive. You just want to have her around. Totally get it. So the one thing, though, as time does seem to go on, of course, they've removed parchment from her, right? She does kind of start to come around again, but her behavior, little off, I guess is the best way to say it. It's kind of spontaneous, a little erratic, a little violent. They think she's just mentally ill, which, as you would, right? It's been 8 years. She's not talking about what happened or anything like that. She's just kind of like think of like a mute psychopath, not psychopath, a mute schizophrenic is probably how I'm thinking. That's kind of how she's acting. So at night, when the sun goes down, she will get out of her room. She'll get out and she'll walk around and she'll do stuff.
Oh, she won't walk around. She'll fucking fly around that place.
I guess
one of my notes is I got to know what Katie's 40 time was.
She's like zipping.
She is going so goddamn fast. Like
those mummies, man, they put something in them.
Yeah, and this is where the horror kind of starts because like
her behavior and the things that she's doing, and
on between this and Saw and the vents and They Will Kill You, I'm like, what is with people crawling around empty spaces and houses? Because they go behind the walls to find her, and she's I forget what she's doing. She's eating something, or she's like, what is she doing? She's being weird.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, she's being really.
I mean, the most important part. I mean, knowing all of that, we're leading into the scene where during the day, the wife and her mom are maintaining her. Right. I'm going to let you talk about this because of your eyes, and they go in to clip her nails. And
because
what happened?
Her nails are like Guinness Book of World Record. If you ever saw that guy with
the
like
dude with the freaking.
Yeah. So obviously not that bad, but they are disgusting. They're really long. They are. And yeah, she has not been able to take care of herself at all. So of course they're trying to get this going. And if you guys don't know anything about Lee Cronin, is he loves close-ups of mouths, of feet, of things that
flesh.
Yes, flesh. So he makes an emphasis on this to show you a close-up of them cutting your toenails. And like, they're like, they got to put some elbow grease into it to get through them. Gets through the first one just fine, but something's coming because it's kind of like tugging at each toenail. The next one comes up, boom, it flies up. Does it go into her mouth? Yeah. And so they have to like pull it out. There's one dude in this theater that's just laughing his ass off at this point. And so then this movie.
I bet he shut up real quick when they.
This movie made me do this like. Probably 12 times. This was the first one of those times. Because then they go to the big toe, and I'm like, and I already know what's going to come. I know that they're going to rip that toenail off, and it's going to be disgusting.
Have you ever had a hangnail?
Yes, exactly like that. Or if you've ever like lost a nail, like that bugs the shit out of me in horror movies. Like Oculus did a scene where like a nail's getting removed. I hate it. So I know it's coming. What does this motherfucker do? He one-ups it because you know what else I hate? I hate fucking bones getting exposed in movies. And you know what he fucking does? Meanwhile, mind you, I'm like this. In my mind, it's just going to be the toenail going. They're like putting so much effort into this to cut it. It rips the toenail off and it rips like a big part of flesh up the leg.
If you guys have ever bit your nails too far back and you get the cuticle and it goes up, it's the worst pain in the world, worse than childbirth for sure. It rips your cuticle up. Like it was that to the max. They clip this big toenail and it finally gives, and it just rips her toe cuticle and the epinicium all the way up her leg. I mean, it was
up to the knee. Like and she just sits there.
Completely catatonic.
Nothing. At this point, I was like, "Oh fuck, this is."
Well, then what happened? She kind of collects herself, and then.
Yeah, that part I also was like this because there's like a chase sequence again. Like this happens a couple times in the movie. Like she is running around this house, and it is kind of comical because they do try to sedate her. So it's like. Discount Chris Pratt is trying to chase her and like tackle her around the house and stuff. So he's chasing her and he hears this noise and he looks behind and she's got like, what does she have? She has like a pole or something.
It's like a ski, like a kind of like a ski thing maybe, or like a fire poker.
And she is just shoving it in that goddamn wound. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking hate Lee Cronin. And boy, I hate him even further later in this movie. But
in Evil, you guys remember in Evil Dead where she had the nail gun and she's just to herself. She's like,
it's kind of like that.
Like that's what she's just taking it. And she's see the sound effects there.
Yeah, God damn it. They get her sedated. They bandage her up. It's also very clear at this point because she does lash out anytime. Like the mother-in-law here, the grandma, she's very religious. Anytime she
strong Catholic.
Yep. Even anytime she brings up prayer, like Katie gets very
antagonistic.
Yes. Very
doesn't like anything to do with the God of the Bible. She's very angry when the good comes in.
And at the same time, obviously, because Chris is a Charlie, not Chris. I keep wanting to say Chris because he's discount Chris Pratt, but Charlie, obviously, he's a journalist. He's taken a job as like a semi-producer or something in Albuquerque. But so he puts on his investigative hat and starts, he really wants to research this and figure out what's going on. He gets in contact with the prior.
He notices the script. He notices the scriptures. That's like.
And he goes and talks to a professor, and the professor starts talking to him about this demon that kind of rips families apart from the inside.
Do you know what would have been the all-time reveal, by the way?
If it was the Necronomicon?
If the professor was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Okay, yeah. So you have that going on. At the same time, how do we get to this point here? So
they're explaining the demon, Nazman.
I'm not gonna remember the demon's name, but yeah, basically this demon rips families apart from the inside, so he has something to do with it. But at the beginning of the movie, when they're in Cairo, Katie is in like the Girl Scouts, and so she's learning Morse code.
Yeah,
and so she starts like chattering her teeth now in present time. And it's really creepy. Like, and Charlie's like, wait a minute. So he starts writing it down. He realizes that she's talking in Morse code. And the word she keeps saying is Layla, 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 Layla. You guys will remember that is the mother of Layla was the one that kidnapped her. So he calls, the detective that was new on the case, in Cairo back 8 years ago, and says, hey, is there anyone named Layla? There are a lot of Laylas. So they're like, we're going to need to narrow this down. So Charlie starts looking through old like condolence letters that he get, and it's like in a tomb like itself.
Yeah.
That like there's thousands of these.
Hell of a basement trunk.
Great basement trunk. He starts going through those, trying to find anything with Layla. I'm trying to think if any other gross stuff happens between it. Yep. Actually, yep. Mm-hmm. Do you want to get into the rat frog debate?
Oh, I did the toenail, so I'll let you take this one.
Okay. Well, so earlier in the movie, when they're driving to the place, they're playing this game, rat or frog. Like, who's a rat or a frog? They're like, oh, my teacher is she's definitely she's got a frog face, yeah, or maybe they say she's a rat. But Katie is able to, or the demon controlling Katie is able to distort her voice into what she used to sound like, and grants you, she's never met Maud, and Maud's never met Katie. Maud just knows of Katie. So she lures her and is just like, hey, I want to get to know you, this and that. Says, I want to lick your little piggies, and starts licking her feet under the door, and is able to make her levitate. And basically semi-possesses Maud. Again, it's this demon that's ripping the family apart from the inside. This little sweet girl Maud, other than her fucking name, she's super sweet. And then there's Maud. Yeah, she's super sweet. But then she starts to get very not really her character. She's in class one day, and you can just kind of see that she first of all, she's playing with scissors. She's playing with the little like childproof scissors, and I'm like, oh no, she's gonna fucking like cut off her teacher's nose or something. Like, so I'm stressing out. I know it's gonna be gross. It wasn't gross, so I'll give you that. But the teacher comes over. She's like, hey, you're a rat face cunt. And just keeps repeating it like it's picked up at
you're a rat face cunt. You're a rat face cunt.
which is like, it's true, like Evil Dead style, like,
Fun fact, did you realize the teacher was Beth from Evil Dead Rise?
I did not. That's a good point. So yeah, and like Charlie picks her up, and yes, this is getting to the gross stuff. Shit. Okay, so Charlie picks her up from school and is like, we're not going to tell your mom about this. She's under a lot of stress, and the whole time she's just like, rat face cunt, rat face cunt, rat face cunt, rat face cunt. And meanwhile, while they're driving home, Grandma comes up to try and pray over Katie again. And
remember what we said earlier? I'll take this one. Remember how earlier we talked about, anytime the God of the Bible or the good comes in, Katie doesn't react so well, which is obviously speaking to the demon that's inside, doesn't like hearing the name of the one true God. So she takes some time to pray over Katie, who's in the room, and Katie, or maybe the demon inside Katie, I should say, reacts very violently, I should say. Throws Carmen out the window. I mean, out the second story window. This poor woman falls
onto Charlie's car as they pull up. And what happens to her poor body? Well, so she slides off the car. Obviously they're freaking out. Charlie tries to get out of the car, and there's fucking coyotes. Coyotes appear out of nowhere and just ravage this poor woman. And one of my notes was, are these and the demon dogs from Shelby Oaks related?
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, these things are clearly summoned because coyotes don't really like to attack people that much. But this poor woman who's been knocked unconscious after being, well, maybe not so unconscious because she's screaming a lot. After she's thrown out a window and hits the car, ripped apart by a pack of coyotes.
And
brutally.
Ripped apart. Intestines getting out. It's so disgusting.
It is a hell of a shot.
So from there, we get to go to the wake. The wake of Grandma Carmen. And these two, I assume.
Oh, wait. We forgot an important part.
Okay. What part?
Remember that as Charlie's learning Morse code and he's digging through the trunk, he finds a letter about Layla. He sends it to the detective back in Cairo, who's still kind of thinking about the case, and she makes her way to the home that we saw in the beginning.
Right.
Goes in the basement, finds the pyramid.
Finds the pyramid, is confronted. So finds the pyramid, is like, okay, shit, this is all connected. I think we actually got something here. She goes back upstairs in the house and is confronted by Layla's mom.
Layla's mom,
yes.
Layla after the fact, sorry.
And she shoots her, incapacitates her. And then this other girl walks in, fully grown now, and just starts taking off running and just starts digging in the ground. And the detective comes up and is just like, you need to stop what you're doing. Stop it. She isn't listening at all. She's able to get a box out. She finally drops the box at gunpoint. She's like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you stop? Why didn't you stop? And what's in the box? She's
what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box? Turns out it is a VHS tape labeled Katie. And the reason why Layla did not respond was because she has had her tongue cut out. And I hate that. Hate that. Had her tongue ripped out. You get a little bit of exposition because the detective finds out from Layla, like, her tongue was cut out by her mom, and whether it's a biological mom or not, I have no idea. But you don't get much on what exactly is happening. You just see a look of shock when the detective is watching the videotape. And it's going to come back into play a little later. So she decides she needs to make her way to America. So she's on her way to America.
And we go to Carmen's wake.
Where two of her friends are just kind of hanging out, looking at her. They're like, oh, and people do this when there's an open casket. Oh my God, they look.
This is so gross. This scene really bothered me.
Well, and they mentioned something. They're just like, that embalming fluid really, gets. And earlier which is, by the way, crazy to me that they did an open casket funeral with embalming fluid, because she was completely decimated by those coyotes. Maybe it was the mortuary's assistant that was able to get her corrected. But
there you go. Cinematic universe.
That's a callback to a former episode. But they did a little cutaway earlier in the movie. There's like this fluid building up in Katie's room. It's this really disgusting fluid on the floor. They don't really say much about it. I had forgotten about it until this scene, but basically she gets I think she gets her brother to untie her or unlock her door.
Yeah, let her out.
Well, and
because she's manipulating at this point the demon, because as more of those bindings come off, the ones with the scriptures, the demon gets more powerful.
Right.
So at this point in the movie, she's powerful enough, the demon's powerful enough, I should say, to manipulate both Maud and Sebastian.
And she manipulates the fuck out of him. Here's my Hereditary reference. He went to the Hereditary school of banging your head on shit because he's just banging his head on the I think it's the bedpost or something. But he is able to free her. Meanwhile, this wake is going on. It's very sad, very sad. Maud, who's like asshole Maud now, is just like walking around like she's giddy, like she's just happy, like she's fucking dead. It's great.
Slipping around.
And she had made a comment earlier about like her kid's teeth being wiggly. She starts fucking ripping out her teeth, fucking ripping them out. So much shit is happening in this scene. Katie is digging through the ceiling for her floor and the ceiling beneath. From that fluid, she's able to, she's crawling on the ceiling Spider-Man style. And meanwhile, in the background, you see fucking Maud hop into the casket, and then she reemerges. She fucking took out Carmen's dentures.
This bitch.
And one of my notes.
This little 7-year-old shit.
Mm-hmm. One of my notes said, "This movie watched Death at a Funeral and said, hold my dentures." As she comes out, she smiles with the dentures, and Katie's crawling around. The casket falls over. Everybody's freaking out.
This is so gross. This bothered me so much. Katie makes it to the casket.
Talk about it.
Yeah, happy to. So the casket again. It's kind of pandemonium. It's starting to happen. Like Katie's crawling on the ceiling, and this little shit is running around, attacking people with Carmen's false teeth. Katie makes her way up to Carmen's corpse and rips a hole in it, I guess is the best way to put it, and starts drinking the embalming fluid that's inside of her. It was one of the I was so you were doing this earlier. This is one of those parts where I was doing this.
Luckily, I didn't have popcorn during this movie.
You'd lose your appetite real fast.
Yeah,
but Katie's basically like a vampire, rips a hole in this poor woman's corpse, and just starts sucking out the embalming fluid.
It's so gross.
It's so gross, dude.
There's some pukage happening. It's very it reminded me a lot of Drag Me to Hell. There's a wake scene in that too, where they where the body comes out and kind of gets all on her and gums her, and so a lot of callbacks there. And at this point, I would say fuck all with everything. But they kind of slowly start to get to that point. The dad has been on board the entire time. He's like, we need to get her in a facility. The mom is just like, no, like we finally got our daughter home. And it's this very interesting dynamic because no one is necessarily wrong here, because like the mom, obviously, and she even says, she's like, you don't think I can take care of my own daughter? And, they play the blame game. It's like, obviously the dad blames himself. There's this really sad scene where he goes up to Katie's room and just holds her like, very mummified hand, and is just like, he breaks down and just says, I'm sorry. Because obviously he blames himself. Like anybody would.
He couldn't catch her.
Yeah. And he couldn't like protect her in that garden. And so he and his wife kind of have this argument, and he's just like, how about all the times you let her get that candy from that kid? You weren't there, and you were a fucking mother. And it's like, ooh, I don't think you're going to make it out of this movie, dude. Like, I don't think you got to worry about a mummy coming after you. I think that your wife's going to take care of that.
Your wife might kill you first.
Yeah. So they do pack the emotional punch in there. I don't want to discount from that with the grossness. I did think it leveled it out pretty good. Like, at least as a dad, I was like, I feel so fucking bad for this guy. You think his wife tries to turn it on him, like, you just don't think you can't deal with her. It's not convenient for you, and it's like that's not the point. Like
That's not what he's saying. Yeah,
and it's a real conversation that would probably happen if that situation was going on. But now the detective shows up in America, and this is where she has to sit the parents. And this part disgusted me.
where they showed the tape.
Yes, because she sits the parents down and she goes, "There's no easy way to say this, but you got to watch this tape to see what happened to Katie." And as two parents watching it, it's not done in like a tasteless way. Obviously we've talked about movies that are really like disgusting with kids and this and that. It's just the whole backstory, the fact like these parents have lost their kid for 8 years. They didn't know what happened. They got their kid back, and now they have to actually watch what happened. I don't know if I can talk. If you want to talk about it, exactly. What
it's hard to watch. I mean, I have you with 2 daughters and me. I have a soft spot for like help, like kids in distress, because let's be honest, they're helpless. Children are helpless. They can't, especially when adults are doing things like they're the most innocent things and they're completely helpless. So that's why they require protection, right? So they do sit down, they show the tape, come to find out that the lady, the witch, she is part of an ancient cult who are tasked with keeping the Nazman demon buried. And unfortunately, so it sounds good, like it's something good they do. Unfortunately, the way that they have to keep it buried, they have to offer it like living sacrifices, like living hosts, essentially.
And the younger, the better.
The younger, the better, because
they have more runway.
They have more time. Yeah, they have more time. So if you did like a 40-year-old man, the guy's going to live for 40 years and he's going to die because he's 80 years old. He's going to die. A kid, you get a kid, the kid's going to live for another 70 years. So kids have a longer runway, so they abduct kids to do it. So it's kind of one of those. It's really a Bill Cosby. It's like it's for a good purpose. We have to do a bad thing. You know what I mean? If you watch Chappelle's stand up, you understand what I'm talking about there. But they see what happened to Katie. They see that it was taped. Because basically, again, what they do is they transfer the demon to the new body and they wrap it in those scriptures that I was talking about earlier, and that's what actually binds it to the body. So they see, and they keep it in that sarcophagus, that obsidian sarcophagus that I was telling you about. So anyway, the tape shows them taking Katie. She's like, they're levitating her above the sarcophagus, and she's obviously in distress, right?
She's like, I want my mom. I want
my mom.
Broke my heart.
Totally scared kid, completely helpless. And it shows them like doing this chant, like this ritualistic chant that transfers the Nazman demon from the first mummy that you saw at the beginning to the new body.
And the chant was Emotep.
Emotep.
Well, and I just one of my notes on this because I had to lighten the mood a little bit. I said, what in this is this cult videographer the same as the one in Together? Because I thought that'd be a funny thing. It's like he's just getting jobs going to random cults filming this shit.
100%.
Yeah.
And while this is going on, and this is another gross part, because while this is going on upstairs, Katie, again, we've been talking about how she's manipulating the other 2 kids. She takes the boy, Sebastian, and she hypnotizes him, and she forces him to help her basically skin herself to get rid of the last of the parchment that has the scriptures on it that's binding the demon. It's like she's basically skinning herself to get rid of what's left, and she's having Sebastian help her. So that's going on upstairs while they're watching the tape downstairs. And as she gets her skin off, the demon's becoming more powerful. So when they hear it and they realize what's going on, they all run upstairs. The detective, Dahlia, mom and dad run upstairs, and the demon is pretty much at full power, almost at full power maybe at this point, because the demon attacks the parents, attacks Dahlia, beats the shit out of Charlie, like beats him to a pulp. This is so messed up. Poor Dahlia gets we were talking about the Scorpion King in the last episode where he takes a bite of the scorpion. She takes a scorpion and forces it into Dahlia's mouth. It's pretty rough to watch.
It's a scorpion tracheotomy.
Scorpiotomy. I've heard
Yep.
those. They do them in medical school.
Agent Strom would be proud.
Yeah.
Fucking hole in my throat. It sounded like me last week when we were recording, but
Yeah.
I was like, at this point, I was just like, I just watched a movie where a fucking scorpion was ripping a hole in this chick's throat.
It's pretty painful.
Yeah, it's
So all this to say, Dolly has watched the tape multiple times, so she's kind of memorized the chant that they were doing, right? So she starts doing the chant, and Charlie, beaten to a pulp, decides that he will be a willing sacrifice. He get the demon out of her, get it into me. So they start doing the chant. The demon does transfer out of Katie's body into the willing participant, which is Charlie. And they bind him inside. And we were talking about the big trunk with the letters earlier. Was it the same trunk they put him in? I can't remember. It might have been a different one. But anyway, all this to say, they get the demon into Charlie. Charlie's obviously extremely weak, right? Because he got the shit kicked out of him by his daughter. They bind him up in the coffin-like box in the basement. And this is another one. This point was pretty hard to watch because you can hear Charlie inside the sarcophagus tapping in Morse code. Mm-hmm. And he taps, "I love you" in Morse code.
Almost instantaneously, Katie starts to get more glow. She starts to look more like herself, which I gotta commend this fucking kid actor because holy hell,
solid.
My God, the effects that made her look mummified, and then because it truly doesn't look like a person, and then when she slowly starts to come back, it's really fascinating to see. But yeah, and that hit me too because I'm like obviously as a dad, it's like, you're probably going to sacrifice yourself for your kid, or at least you should. And, it wasn't even a thought because Dahlia looks at him and just like, "You sure you want to do this?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is the only way out. We got to do this." And, so I thought it was going to end there. And it's like, okay, he's just condemned to this, but
yeah, no, they got one more surprise.
And at this point I was like, this movie stuck the landing so hard, so good. And then they go to another scene. I'm like, oh no, don't ruin it. And they did that. Fucking chef's kiss on a chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss on a chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Yep.
Time jump, not a long time jump. I wouldn't even say a year. Larissa's the mom's name.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought she died earlier, but she
she didn't. She calls the detective back in Cairo and says, "Hey, we need to talk about Charlie." And this is where, again, they did a fantastic thing because the camera pans around and the witch of the cult, right? The witch that kidnapped the girl and that you thought was dead because Dahlia did shoot her. She did live, like you said, and she is incarcerated. She's all locked up. Dahlia locked her up. And one morning, guess who shows up? Mom and Dahlia show up. And they put her to sleep. They sedate her. And then out of the blue, guess who shows up after that? The possessed Charlie. In a
wheelchair, very, very weak, very much like Katie. Yeah.
Very much like Katie was. And the last thing you hear and the last thing you see is Dahlia starting the chant that's going to transfer the demon.
And I don't want to... What? The mom, before they start it, she looks at Layla's mom and goes, "Want to see a magic trick? Here, let me show you a magic trick." And I'm like, fuck yeah.
They're going to transfer the demon from Charlie into the witch. So I was like, chef's kiss, baby. Bitch got what was coming to her. And Charlie doesn't get doomed to the rest of his life being possessed and dying. He's gonna be okay.
Right. Now, while this family will definitely have some trauma to deal with, everybody
bring it all closer together.
Aside from poor Carmen, got out. Sebastian's going to have a hell of a headache. Maud's going to have a hell of a toothache.
Her mouth is going to be fucked. Well, I mean, she just pulled out her baby teeth for sure.
Yeah, no,
so
she'll
be okay when her regular ones come.
She'll be gumming for a bit, but she'll be fine. They finally got their family back. So yeah, it was just like, because I'm one of those people that I don't want a horror movie to end on a good note. I kind of like it when it's the twist ending.
Downer. Debbie Downer movie.
Well, I mean, not even necessarily that, but just like Saw, that wasn't really a happy ending, but it's just the bad guy got away, and so when they can do this where it's the horror version of a mega happy ending, because the whole like mind fuck of it, because you're like, if you were Layla's mom, you're like, okay, you didn't choose to be put into this. Like she said it was like a family thing, because like I think she said this was the 82nd time it had happened, and that they needed to have a new host. So she just, did that to protect her family. So you can understand her motivation there, but it's still like, you took my fucking kid. I don't give a fuck what happened.
I don't care. Yeah, you hell hath no fury, like a mother scorned, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was nice to see the family come out on top on that, especially when you're like, the easy ending, the perfect ending would have been, the dad sacrifices himself. He's going to have a lifetime of hell, but his daughter's okay. And it's like, hey, that is probably the way it was going to go. And then they just add that other part. Like I looked it up. I was like, does this have a post credit scene? And I was actually relieved that it didn't, because
it's like, let's end on that note and call it.
But then part of me was like, because at the end of the Evil Dead remake, Ash pops in and it's just like groovy. So I was like, are we going to get friggin' Brendan Fraser at the end, just like looking at the camera? But glad it didn't get cheesy like that. Like I personally would have liked that. But as for this movie, I did have a couple questions. Like, they did explain why they had to transfer her. Oh yeah, because a big flood was coming, so that's why she was in a plane crash to begin with. But the whole Morse code thing, I was like, I guess that was probably because she was just still wrapped up, and that's why it could be Katie's soul in there trying.
That's what I was going to say. Is like somewhere inside of her, she's still there. She's still,
Yeah, and let me go to my notes here and see if I hit them all, because I had a lot. Let me see. My notes. All right. So starting from the top, I said, yep, what's Katie's 40 time? I said, no sudden movements.
Seen her dash around.
Yeah. I was like, no sudden movements, but yeah, let's jerk our wheelchair up the stairs. A scorpion tracheotomy. Strom would be proud. That goddamn toenail seam. Why are we licking the embalming fluid? And I just put in the note, rat face cunt, so I remembered it. I said, yeah, this movie watched the wake scene in Death at a Funeral and said, hold my dentures, where the wolves that related to the Devil Dogs in Shelby Oaks. Same cult videographer that was used in Together. I said, this one really could have used some Jonathan and Benny comic relief from the other Mummy movies. I said Katie would beat the fuck out of Emotep.
That's true.
And then I said, Bagul, the demon from Undertone, and the one from this one have to be related in some sort.
That's why I wanted Vincent D'Onofrio to be the professor that he
right. I said her brother went to the hereditary school of bashing your head on shit. We have Chris Pratt at home. Why did they leave Cairo at all? Albuquerque is kind of like the Cairo of America. And I said, get us together, Southlands, a fucking dog.
My man's going to be bad about that for a few days.
Well, so like, now that you guys have heard the movie, like, I went through the ringer emotionally on this. Like, it hit everything, and then I'm walking out and this goddamn dog barks.
You're like, kill the dog.
What are your final notes on this?
So I wrote down. Well, I tried to write all the names down. So I had Dahlia, Lillian, Charlie, Maud, Sebastian, Katie, Carmen, and those are all the names that I tried to see. Like that's a lot of people to talk about. Yep. I said, damn, Sebastian, this is Hereditary all over again. So exactly what you said.
Yep.
I said, I'm never cutting my toes again. I said, a VHS tape. What is this, 1999? I knew these would sound good as I read them out here.
Yeah.
And then, Charlie, you're super cute. I love you too. Because the Morse code from the inside of the box was super sweet.
I love you 3000.
I love you 3000.
Yeah.
So all funny stuff, but all that to say, like, again, going back to what we said earlier, like this isn't how you do, because it's not a remake, right? It's not even a reboot. It's a spiritual, not even spiritual successor. It's a spiritual cousin, right?
Yeah.
It's a movie about a mummy. Because really, the only thing that has to do is that's the same as the name. The name, the mummy, is really the only thing.
And it's good, and because probably does nothing at the box office if it's just like right. Katie goes missing.
Katie is missing. Or Katie is Megan. They already did Megan is missing. So yeah, it's great draw. This is how I like to see movies. Like this is how I like to see horror movies made. Even when I would 99% of this is an original film. Everything about it is original except the name, right? So I love that. I'm really liking Lee Cronin as a horror director. Like I said, he's getting up there with James Wan right now. I want to see more, but this movie ranks pretty high for me. And speaking of rankings, if I had to say, I think we finally knocked off the Bone Temple. I really like this movie.
The Mummy Kid beats Big Dick Alpha.
I really liked this movie, dude. I liked it a lot.
Well, we're going to have an undisputed champ because I walked out of that thing. I'm like, this is it, baby. This is what I've been waiting for.
The Mummy with the knockout dual haymakers.
This never happens. This has happened like once before. We were getting to a point. Yeah, I was like, Samson ain't getting beat, man. I mean, I hope he gets beat at some point. It'd be sad for him.
Beat you over the head with that dick.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. Poor guy. He needed a break anyway. But man,
this was so good, dude.
It was about halfway through this movie.
You gotta see it.
Like, halfway through, I was like, is this movie really like in the running to be my favorite? Like, and I was like, if it sticks the landing or if it gets anywhere close, then
And by God, it stuck it. I was thinking the exact same thing around the wake scene when Pandemonium was breaking out. And I was like, this is awesome.
Because I was like, this could get something stupid. Like, you kind of figure out like, it's probably some cult ritual and my feelings. I think the cult thing is overdone, but the way they had it, they're a cult, but they have to be by necessity so that they didn't choose to have it's not like they dug up this mummy to have this mummy. It's just
they're trying to do something good. They just have to do something bad to do it.
Yes. So that and then like that last moment, I was just like, boom, yep. Oh, I got a new winner. I thought it was going to be like second in command to you because I didn't think anything was beating Bone Temple, but insane
knockout blow, man.
Now
it's close, but I don't know if I'm a little biased because I was ready for something to knock off Bone Temple, but I don't play that game. Like it's got to be that good, and this was that good.
And I've seen some reviews after the fact, like they thought it was too gory, they thought it was too derivative of other movies, which it is. I'll give you that because it is very Evil Dead like. It is there's hereditary aspects, there is Drag Me to Hell aspects, there's a lot of different aspects to this movie that does take from other films, like the possession aspect, all that, but it does it so effectively. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It is the undisputed motherfucking champ going into next week. So next week we got Over Your Dead Body, which is with Jason Segel, Samara Weaving. But then we get into May, and May
heavy hitters, bro.
I don't know. I don't know how far the Mummy's getting because we got Backrooms, we got Obsession, we got Hokum, and there's one more and Passenger. We got those. I got to think at least one of those in there is going to be in the running.
And they're all, they're save for the Backrooms, I think they're all originals.
Yeah, and even the Backrooms, like that's going to be a found footage feel. Our feeling on found footage.
Based off a video game, so it might be another one where I've got to talk about the game a little bit, which is plenty scary.
So that's what we got going coming up. I'm so excited for May. It's going to be a hell of a time.
It's going to be May.
It's going to be May.
How to do it.
Do you have a recommendation?
I do. And my recommendation is actually a throwback to an episode that we've already done. So if you guys have been with us for a long time, we did our Evil Dead episode where we talked at length about some of my favorite horror movies. Our favorite horror movies at this point, I should say. I'm going to harken back to that, guys, because the Evil Dead Burn trailer got me thinking. Evil Dead Rise, if you guys haven't sat and watched it, go back, check out our Evil Dead episode, watch Evil Dead Rise. This, again, a film by Lee Cronin, so shout out Lee Cronin, who did The Mummy as well. I say this for the movies that I like a lot, right? Everything about this movie works. The premise works. The small claustrophobic. It takes place in an apartment building, one apartment and the hallway outside of it.
A high-rise, yeah.
A high-rise apartment building. Like, it all works. The acting is great. The scares are great. Damn it, if there's not more blood, then you just don't see movies do that anymore. It's a low budget. They didn't spend $100 million on it. We talked about that in the Mummy episode, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money. Bigger isn't always better. Low budget film. scary as hell. You're never going to want to look through the peephole of your door again. You're never going to want to use a cheese grater again. Go watch Evil Dead Rise.
And I knew you were going to pick that one, so I specifically didn't. But honestly, that is the most comparable to this movie.
Yeah.
It is so comparable. Obviously, it's the same director, but he knows what works. And, you know, you can knock him for not trying, you know, new things. But I thought he did. Like, come on, a scorpion comes out of a goddamn throat in this one. Like, no notes. Beautiful. I am also going to harken back to an old episode that we did. This is going to be about PG-13 horror movies, and I've already mentioned it a couple times in this episode, but watch Drag Me to Hell. It is one of my favorite PG-13 horror movies. I don't know how it stayed PG-13 because I feel like
scary and effective.
It's so scary and so effective. It has some campiness to it. You got Justin Long in there. Obviously, it's Sam Raimi that does it. So Lee Cronin, Sam Raimi, they're very similar in a lot of aspects.
One of the scariest climactic scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah, and after you watch it, you're like, I feel dumb because, like, you know, they told me.
It's in the title.
It's in the goddamn title. But fuck me if it isn't great. I love it. This is very rare. I didn't think it was going to go. I thought you were going to be shocked that I was going to pick it as my number.
That's what the Roast of Snow Horror Show is all about, man.
We don't
double haymakers.
Yeah, fuck. What a
undisputed champ.
So obviously, go see it. We can't recommend it enough. I don't know the next time I'm going to see it again because it isn't for the weak stomach. you
That's
gotta.
true.
But. That's also I brought it up in the Primate episode. Like the first scene, I remember sitting in the theater like, why am I doing this goddamn podcast? Because I have to watch this movie and it's going to stress me out and it's going to be gross. And that was kind of the same feeling here. I'm like, I don't want to know what's going to happen next. And it's such a fun feeling to have that. And then, you know, you get through it. You're like, God damn, that was insane. But beautiful. Great job, Lee Cronin. Great job
keep making him Lee Cronin. Keep pumping him out, man. I want to see him.
Taking a title that had every reason to fail, and you made it work. So, bravo. Not easy to do. But do you have any closing remarks before we leave for the week?
Another thank you for sticking us out with us, guys. We love doing this. We love talking these movies. We love having an excuse to go see them every week. It's such a pleasure when we see one that we just don't know much about, and it just knocks it out of the park like The Mummy did. So this week felt extra special, and clearly it was because it threw a couple of haymakers and is now a reigning undisputed champion. So thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far and you have not seen The Mummy, go see it. By God, go see it.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we will see you next week, guys. Take it easy.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Roasted Snow Horror Show. Please follow us on our social media pages and tell your friends,
Pretty please!